Have you ever stopped to think that your failure didn't start yesterday or last week? Real failure begins every morning, in the very first minute after you open your eyes. That silent thought you have upon waking is more powerful than any goal you've ever written on paper. The Bible says, "In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." Psalm 5 verse 3. And Napoleon Hill confirmed it. Thoughts are things. So tell me, what did you feed your mind this morning? A command of strength? Or an excuse dressed up as exhaustion? Because every sunrise carries a hidden code, and those who don't decode it end up reliving the same destiny again and again. You're watching Napoleon Inspires, a place created to remind you that every single morning is a brand new chance to write your destiny with faith and action. If these words are resonating with you, hit the like button so more people can wake up with clarity. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because here we share the codes that transform your mind into wealth and purpose. And before we go further, write this in the comments. Today, I won't fail myself. Don't write it for me, write it for you. Make it a pact with your next sunrise. Most people believe they fail because the world is against them, because they didn't get lucky, or because it just wasn't meant to be. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. Defeat doesn't begin in major events. It begins in what you do the moment you wake up. Think about this. You don't lack motivation. You lack a morning system. You can read 100 books and watch 1,000 talks, but if your first minutes are chaos, the rest of your life is built on unstable ground. Jesus said, "A good tree bears good fruit." Matthew 7, verse 17. Your morning is that invisible root. If the root is weak, the fruit will never be abundant. Here's the trap. We think being busy means moving forward, but we can spend hours running and end up exactly where we started. Busyness isn't productivity. Productivity isn't always progress. And true progress only happens when your mornings have direction. Let me ask you something. How many times have you opened your eyes only to scroll through messages, social media, or news that add nothing to your destiny? Do you realize that in those seconds, you've already handed your focus over to the world? If your morning were a business partner, would you fire it for being inefficient or hire it because it moves you closer to your vision? Your destiny isn't decided at 3 p.m. It's decided in those invisible seconds when you choose your first thought. Failure doesn't arrive suddenly. It doesn't knock on your door with a sign that says, "Here I am. I've come to ruin your life." Failure is silent. It creeps in quietly, in those 5 extra minutes you negotiate with laziness, in the reflex of checking your phone before opening your heart, in that little whisper that says, "Today will be just like yesterday." The most dangerous part? You don't even notice. There's no alarm that rings when you hand your focus over to disorder. No visible punishment when you delay what matters. Just a subtle fatigue, a lack of energy, a quiet feeling of running but never advancing. And over time, that subtle fatigue becomes identity. You start telling yourself, "I'm not consistent. I'm always behind. I'm just not like others." But that's a lie, planted by habit. Napoleon Hill said it clearly. Repetition of thought becomes belief, and belief becomes reality. If every morning you unconsciously repeat your own chaos, your entire life rearranges itself to match it. Let me ask you 2 direct questions. What steals more of your future? 5 minutes of sleep or 5 years of stagnation? Who controls your first thought? You or the leftovers of your past? When you start your day reacting, complaining, comparing, you step into the battlefield already losing. Because the world doesn't wait for you to get organized. It rewards those who are already moving while everyone else is still asleep. And here's the hard truth. What you repeat unconsciously becomes your destiny. It's not the big opportunity that changes your life. It's that silent decision at sunrise. Will you rise with purpose or surrender before the day even begins? Every morning you improvise, your life becomes repetition. Every morning you choose direction, your life begins to transform. There's no middle ground. Listen carefully. The morning isn't just a routine, it's an invisible altar. It's the moment you decide which force will rule your day, the noise of the world or the voice of your purpose. The Bible says, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do it." Psalm 37 verse 5. That verse isn't poetry, it's a spiritual code. What you give to God at dawn multiplies throughout the day. The law of cause and effect says the same thing. The first cause you plant at sunrise sets off the entire chain of results. Plant chaos, and you'll harvest disorder. Plant clarity, and you'll harvest progress. Napoleon Hill said it best: thoughts are things. When you open your eyes, your thoughts are the first things building your reality. So if your mind were a fertile field, what seeds did you plant this morning? Seeds of faith and discipline, or seeds of complaint and fatigue? Imagine your mind each morning as a clean garden. You decide whether to plant roses of focus or weeds of distraction. Whatever grows in that garden will be the fragrance or the poison you breathe all day long. You've seen the diagnosis. Every morning can be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. So here's something concrete, simple, and powerful. A code that doesn't depend on trends, online routines, or temporary motivation. I call it the AM code: water, mind, and movement. 3 simple steps that protect your first hour and give you control of your destiny. 1. Water. Respect your temple. Your body is the vehicle of your soul. When you wake up, it doesn't need coffee, notifications, or worry. It needs water. A full glass with intention. It's not just hydration, it's declaration. I honor my energy. I flow with clarity. Imagine that water flowing through you like a golden river, cleansing the toxins of sleep and awakening your inner strength. 2. Mind. Direct your thoughts before the world hijacks them. Your first thought is the key to everything that follows, so don't leave it to chance. If you wake up in complaint, your day becomes contaminated. If you wake up with clarity, your day becomes aligned. Napoleon Hill said, "You are the master of your destiny because you are the master of your mind." How do you do it? Take 5 minutes of silence. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, what do I need to do today to be proud of myself tonight? Write down 3 things. 1 action that brings you closer to your goal. 1 attitude you'll hold no matter what. 1 thought you refuse to let in today. That's structure. That's direction. It takes less than 10 minutes. The Bible says, "Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will succeed." Proverbs 16 verse 3. Writing isn't just noting things down. It's sealing a covenant with your future. 3. Movement. Activate your energy. Your body is the mirror of your mind. If it stays still, heavy, and lazy, your mind will crawl. If you move it, even slightly, your mind will expand. You don't need an hour at the gym. You need 2 minutes of conscious motion, stretches, push-ups, a walk in the sun, anything. Every drop of sweat sends a message to your brain. Today, I don't survive. Today, I dominate. The complete AM code takes no more than 15 minutes. But those 15 minutes are worth more than an entire day without intention, because you're turning your morning into a spiritual and mental training ground. You're protecting your focus before the world tries to steal it. You're proving that your word weighs more than your excuses. If you practice water, mind, and movement every morning, who would you become in a month? What version of you would emerge in a year? You'd be building, quietly, the man or woman you've always dreamed of becoming, while others are still wasting their mornings. Napoleon Hill taught, success comes to those who become success conscious. And consciousness begins at dawn. The AM code isn't just a ritual, it's a master key. A daily affirmation that your life is under your control, not under the control of laziness, noise, or the past. And here's the deeper truth. These actions aren't just habits, they're identity statements. You're not what you feel when you wake up. You are not your morning laziness. You are what you decide to be in the first minute of your day. The Bible says, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." Proverbs 23 verse 7. What you believe about yourself at dawn becomes your reflection throughout the day. Let me say it plainly. You are not your past. You are your morning decision. You are not your emotions. You are your direction. You are not your excuses. You are your invisible discipline. That's why you need a mantra of identity, a phrase that holds you when motivation fades, when no one's watching, when no one applauds. I'll give you two. I walk with purpose. Today, I won't fail myself. They're simple, but they carry power, because every time you say them aloud, your mind hears them as commands, and what you repeat becomes who you are. Napoleon Hill said, "Repetition of affirmation leads to belief, and once that belief becomes deep conviction, things begin to happen." That thing is your transformation. So tomorrow, when your alarm rings, don't think about your fatigue. Rise and whisper, "I walk with purpose. Today, I won't fail myself." Do it every day until it's no longer a phrase, but your character. Many people don't fail because they lack dreams or talent. They fail because they wake up but carry yesterday with them. You open your eyes, but your mind is still replaying that mistake, that missed opportunity, that hurtful word. Your body is in the present, but your heart is chained to the past. That's why you can't move forward, because no one builds a future carrying invisible luggage filled with guilt. What you don't close, you repeat. What you don't forgive, you limit. What you don't face, you drag behind you. And the antidote is forgiveness. I'm not talking about forgiving to excuse. I'm talking about forgiving to release. Forgiving yourself for what you didn't know, for what you did wrong with the level of awareness you had then. That's not weakness. That's spiritual maturity. The Bible says, forgetting what is behind and reaching toward what is ahead. Philippians 3 verse 13. That's a roadmap. Letting go isn't forgetting. It's transforming your past from a prison into a teacher. Ask yourself, what mistake are you still carrying like a sentence every morning? Isn't it time to let it go, to move lighter, freer, higher? Imagine waking up tomorrow, breathing deeply, and saying, "Today, I don't punish myself. Today, I use everything I've been to become better." That sentence can cleanse more than 1,000 hours of therapy, because it reminds you that you're not your mistakes. You're the one who faced them and decided to grow. When you start your day with that truth, guilt turns into energy, pain turns into wisdom, and the past turns into fuel. Napoleon Hill said, "Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." The secret is not to start your mornings with yesterday's dirt, but with a new seed. Choose to move forward lightly, because those who travel light can go as far as they dare to dream. Now that you've released the weight of the past, you need a system so clear it holds you even on difficult days. That system isn't called motivation. It's called micro-commitments. Most people fail because they want to change everything overnight. They say, "Tomorrow, I'll be a completely new person." But real transformation doesn't come from epic events. It comes from small decisions repeated with discipline. A daily victory is more powerful than 1,000 broken promises. A simple promise kept is worth more than a perfect plan abandoned. The Bible says, "Whoever is faithful with little will be faithful with much." Luke 16 verse 10. If you're consistent in small things, you're training yourself to handle the big ones. So ask yourself each morning, what's my small victory today? It could be writing one page, taking a 10-minute walk, choosing water instead of coffee when you wake up, or simply repeating your mantra, "Today, I won't fail myself." Visualize it, a golden check mark each day you keep your promise, a brick laid every morning in the wall of your character. Napoleon Hill said, "Persistence is the glue that holds all achievement together." Success isn't about intensity, it's about continuity. And continuity is built through small, steady, unwavering steps. Those who don't quit on the small things always end up conquering the big ones. Your greatest wealth isn't money or time, it's attention. Where you place your attention, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, your results grow. The problem is, most people wake up and hand their attention away in the first few minutes to messages, notifications, and distractions. In that moment, their future is mortgaged to the noise of the world. The Bible warns, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Proverbs 4 verse 23. Your heart, your mind, your attention, These are treasures you must protect. Napoleon Hill said, "The concentration of effort is the secret of power. When your focus scatters, your power fades. When your focus sharpens, your life expands." So ask yourself, what notification has stolen the most of your future? How many mornings have you given away to other people's urgencies instead of building your own destiny? You need an invisible shield, a protection that says, "My first hour is sacred. My mind is not for rent. My energy is not up for grabs." Every time you silence your phone, imagine placing a golden shield around your mind. Every deep breath is a sword cutting through distraction. The world competes for your attention every second. But the one who masters focus masters destiny. Raise the shield of your purpose each morning and walk firmly, because clarity isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Now comes the moment of decision. Because listening isn't enough, you have to seal the pact. Here's what I want you to do. Rename your morning alarm with these words. Today, I won't fail myself. Tomorrow, when it rings, it won't be just an alarm. It'll be your own voice reminding you of this very moment. Close your eyes with me for a second. Breathe deeply. Inhale to a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale slowly to 6. Feel every breath washing away doubt and filling you with determination. Feel your mind align, your heart strengthen. Now imagine tomorrow's sunrise. You wake up, see the alarm with the phrase, "Today I won't fail myself," and you smile because you know your day has already begun in victory. Napoleon Hill said, "A weak desire brings weak results, just as a small fire gives little heat." Your decision today is the fire that will ignite your identity tomorrow. So tell me, how will you feel tomorrow when you hear your own promise ring through the room? Decide now, because your next morning begins right now. Remember this truth. He who masters his morning masters his destiny. Every day you open your eyes is a blank page. The question is, will you fill it with the same excuses or with a new identity? The Bible says, God's mercies are new every morning. Lamentations 3 verse 23. That means every sunrise brings a fresh, perfect opportunity to begin again. Napoleon Hill confirmed it. Master your morning habits, and life will obey your new identity. Now imagine the power of thousands of people around the world waking up with the same declaration. Today, I won't fail myself. Imagine the energy released when an entire community chooses to honor their mornings and walk firmly toward their dreams. So I invite you, write it now in the comments. Today, I won't fail myself. Do it not for me, but for you, because when you write it, your mind takes it as an order. And tomorrow, when you see it again, you'll remember the decision has already been made. If this message spoke to your soul, leave a like so more people can awaken with this clarity. Subscribe to Napoleon Inspires and activate the bell. Because here we share the codes that turn faith into action, thought into wealth, and habit into destiny. You're not alone. There are many of us who've decided to rise differently. And each strong morning is another brick in the life you deserve.